Right, we're covering the inbound DM setting script, as you can see here on screen. Built DM setting script inbound. So this is going to be when you are logged into the influencer's account. This is going to be when you're managing the DMs of usually Instagram. Depending on the influencer, it could be Twitter, it could be TikTok. So this is when a lead reaches out to the influencer. They send a message interested in the product. They maybe reply to a call to action, a CTA, which would be DM me the word fitness, so you can get in shape in 6 weeks if it's a fitness influencer, or DM me the word cash, if you want to get started in drop shipping. Again, depending on what niche the influencer is in, but depending on what it is, you are in control of their DMs and you are trying to book calls for the closer or for the influencer if they're closing their own deals. So yeah, this is going to be the exact script. This is the script that I used when I was starting out. I did DM setting for probably 6 months. I still do actually a bit of DM setting, believe it or not, but it's more copy and paste messages just because there's so many people reaching out. But when it's a bit of a smaller influencer and you're actually working for them to get calls, yeah, you want to have a bit of a sales conversation in the DM. So I'm going to cover the full thing. I'm going to basically break down my, how I think about each step, how I actually think about each stage. I'll also link the PDF so you can just use it as a cheat sheet when you're actually DM setting. But I'm going to break down the psychology behind it and what I've written out here, so you can understand it yourself, internalize it, and even make your own script moving forward, right? So number one, never copy and paste. Like, don't copy and paste directly from this. It's a framework. The same as when you're on a phone. You don't want to be directly reading from a script, right? Last thing you want to do is sound robotic in the DMs. You'll just put a bad taste in the person's mouth. And if you even get them to book a call, like, chances are they won't show to the call. So yeah, number one, yo, what's up? Like, how's it going? So when they reach out, just, send them a message back like you literally are the influencer. Just be like, yo, what's good? How's it going? Maybe comment about something about if you click on their profile and, you see where they're from, just comment something about their city or whatever it actually is. Just basically build a bit of rapport before the second response, right? Then you're jumping straight into it. So again, like, build a bit of rapport, but you don't need to like hear about their whole life story. The same as when you're on a call. You want to jump into a process and you want to start qualifying them straight away and see if they're a potential to buy the product, because that's what affects your bag. That's what you want to do, right? So first qualification message, just like, make sure that they have a job, number one, okay? Or make sure that they're not in a third world country. Some accounts, they won't have a profile picture. They won't have a location in their bio, so you don't know where they're going to be located. So yeah, you just need to make sure that they're in a good place, like you can actually sell to them, right? They have a good bit of money. Chances are if they're in Africa, if they're in India, like, they're not going to have the buying power to buy a 1K, 2K, 5K, 10K product. So that's the first thing. Where are you located? They're going to tell them where you're located. They'll tell you what you do for work. Once they're qualified, once they've actually got a job, they're not from a third world country, and you don't just instantly bin them. By the way, like, there's some gray lines with that. You don't just want to bin somebody off if they say they don't have a job, because some people have savings, some people still have buying capacity. So yeah, if they're in like a first world country but they haven't got a job, you can continue the conversation, because sometimes it's going to be worth your time. And then I've switched this a little bit, but third message, cool, what actually has you looking into the business model? Like, again, get straight to it. Like, what has you looking into drop shipping? What has you looking into e-commerce? Or if it's for a fitness niche, for example, just be like, yeah, what has you looking into looking into training, or what's the goal with training? Basically, you want to ask something to the method of that. And you can see I have written in red here, every conversation will be different after the third message, right? They're going to tell you a range of things, but your goal is just like, get them to, admit why they're looking into the business. Like, get them to basically admit some pain to you, right? Some people will say they need more money. You say, oh, like, why do you need more money? And then, you can just type that, just say, why do you need more money? Or they'll say, I want to leave my job. And then you just ask them about that. Then they'll give you a reason. Okay. Again, like, the reason I haven't given an exact script here, I've just put this writing in red, is because it's going to be different every single time, right? But let them give their reason. You don't have to poke too deep into the pain, but you want a valid reason so the closer can actually make use of this person, right? So like, they genuinely have a reason, and you can use your time wisely and carry on the conversation, right? So once they give you a solid reason, then you're going to move on and you're going to go to business model awareness. So are you already familiar with the business model, or do you need me to break it down? Yeah. So again, what I might actually do, if a lot of you guys are on fitness offers, I will just make a separate fitness one, because this is very geared towards make money online. But yeah, ask them if they are familiar with the concept or they need like a full breakdown on it. If they say, like, usually they'll say something like, I'm kind of familiar, but I'm not completely clued in. So then you just give them a breakdown. Again, this is a very generic fifth message breakdown of the business model. But this is kind of a template. Your offer owner will give you a breakdown yourself. I would recommend just making your own breakdown, how you understand it, make it sound as simple as possible, so the normie brain can comprehend it when you explain it on a message. And then you go, is this something you'd be interested in learning more about, how it would work for you, right? That's, again, the most important part. You're always gearing it towards those. Sorry, I said those, but you're always gearing it towards the person that you're speaking to. Is this something that you'd be interested in learning more, how it would work for you? They'll say yes. Or they'll say, no, it's not the business that I thought it was. And once they agree that the business model is for them, sixth message, you're going to basically round off the conversation with saying, okay, just so I'm clear, like, what is the exact goal with starting this business model? How much do you need to make to leave your job, retire your mom, whatever their goal actually is that they gave you at the beginning? Again, I'm going to scroll back up here for a second. You don't leave this third message until they actually give you a solid goal, like leave their job or have more freedom, be able to travel a little bit more, right? Leave your job, retire your mom, travel the world, whatever the goal is, how much you need to make per month. Make sure you round it off with that, because that's, again, got to tie the number in their head. It's actually going to make it real for them. And yeah, it's just a good way to round off the conversation, just to, again, show that you understand. Seventh message, and this is going to be the last message before you actually propose the call and get that set up. This is only if your offer owner wants it. You're going to hard qualify them for finances, right? This is how I personally say it. Our students starting out obviously pay for our guidance, typically between 2 to 5K. Can you swing that? Like, it's a bit conversational. And then also you want to add in, by the way, I mean, once you feel like my guidance will get you to your goal, right? Again, you want to tack that on just to be like, just so they don't think that you're asking them for 5K on the spot or anything like that. Like, they understand. Yeah. Again, like, I wouldn't put this in every single time, because if they have a job, if they have income, most offer owners will be okay with actually taking the call. But yeah, if they want you to hard qualify, if they're having a lot of broke leads come through, this is how you can structure the message. Then after that, they've given you their goal. They say that they like the business model. You've figured out that they have a job, they have income. What else do you need? You don't need anything else from the M setting. So propose the call then. Get the call set up. You don't need to lengthen it. You don't need to go deep into pain or anything like that. As long as they have a problem that they want to solve and they've answered enough of your questions where they've been present, just propose the call. So go, okay, cool. Your goal is 100% achievable. I'm sure you've seen some testimonials on our account. Haha. Sounds like we can definitely help, but it's hard to know without talking on a call. Next step from here is having a chat with one of our advisors. They can break down how we can actually get you to your goal, get you to X amount per month. You free in the next couple of days for a call. When they go yes, or they might go, oh, I'm only free on the weekend, blah, 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 send them the Calendly link. So perfect, choose the day here. Here's a link to, perfect, man. I'm actually going to switch that. Perfect, man. Here's a link to schedule. Perfect, man. Here's the link to schedule. And then right after that, you want to say, book this now, and I'll make sure it doesn't clash with anything on my end. Book this in the next 10 minutes. Yeah, you just want to put a time frame on it, and I'll make sure it doesn't clash with anything on my end. Then after, the very last thing, send resources. So you want to send whatever resources your offer owner has provided, whether it's a podcast that they've been on, whether it's a pre-call video that they've made, whatever again, this is going to be different for every offer, but highly recommend sending resources, sending them some pre-call homework for them to do, just breaking down the business model, maybe watching the offer owner on a podcast. That's really it. So that's 100%. That's the actual DM setting script. Again, like, another thing I'm going to do is add on to this PDF. I'm going to add on like basically a paragraph about how volume is the most important thing when it comes to DM setting. the script is cool, and you definitely want to be running the correct script. You want to make sure that they have a job. You want to make sure you're not getting bad leads onto the calendar. Um, but volume, volume, volume. Like that's literally what helped me when I was starting out. I would send 800 messages a day, new messages. I'd be replying to people. Volume and speed of replies, right? You want to act like the influencer is, only talking to that lead and nobody else in the world, right? Like you want to be replying fast to them. Don't be desperate. Like you know, if they're replying every hour, like don't reply 2 seconds later. But you don't want to be waiting to reply to them, right? Once you see the message come through, you may as well just reply. So yeah, speed to lead, speed when they reply, and running this conversation on them. And number two, volume. So the more messages you can respond to, the more outbound you can do as well. This is obviously an inbound script. Outbound is a little bit different. You just start off with a different message, and I'll create a separate script for that. But yeah, so very last thing, send resources, whatever the offer owner provides. And then just final note, the most important metric for an appointment setter is qualified calls, right? How many qualified calls you get on the calendar. And then what you as an appointment setter need to focus on the most is volume. Because the quality is in the volume. More messages you send, it's just a logical thing. You're going to find more qualified people. So you just literally need to be grafting, right? And it's also going to, when your offer owner sees you grafting, sees you putting in the work, they're also going to want to get you on the phones. They're also going to want to get you on closing calls. So yeah, just the more work that you put in, the better. It's going to add to your bag. That is the whole psychology behind the DM setting script. Again, I just said I do a quick explanation of it, but the most important thing is just using this and running it once you actually land your DM setting role. So yeah, that's all for the DM setting script.